That's fine. We're just gonna burn the fucking crops. Fuck it. Let everybody starve.
Jerry Spencer turned to unemployed Americans, but says after 2 weeks, most couldn't cope.
The farmer says, start over here and end over here. And that was the extent of their instructions. With the American workers, they all had to be taught all this and separate. And in addition to the fact that their bodies just were not built for it.
Never thought I was going to lose this much money, this fast.
Jim is a Republican who voted for Donald Trump 3 times.
How do you feel about your vote for Donald Trump now?
Well, I feel like perhaps I should have considered some other options.
The past 2 years, Jim has been selling honey to the federal government, which then provides it to schools and food banks. But after Donald Trump took office, the USDA cut those programs suddenly as part of the federal government's effort to streamline spending.
For a lot of other local farmers around here, it was a major source of reliable revenue. For me, it's going to cost me around $150,000 a year.
$150,000.
Yeah, roughly 50% of my revenue.
That's a huge hit.
That's a massive hit.
Donald Trump, don't backpedal now. Now you're saying or acting like you're regretting or that it was a mistake that you did this mass deportation, although you set it in place and this was planned and thought out way before your presidency when y'all were concocting up this project 2025. You had plenty of time to think about the consequences this was going to have, and you still proceeded with it. So now you're just realizing that all immigrants aren't criminals. Now you want to realize that they are actually hardworking people that have been working on these farms for over 20 years and just want to make an honest living for their family. Now you want to realize that now you have shipped all these hardworking immigrants off to their native land, that us Americans are not going to want to work in these fields for the prices that they are paying these immigrants. Now you're seeing that the farmers are suffering because of your dumb ass decisions. And it's sad because your blatant racism wouldn't allow you to actually delve into how agriculture works and how important the immigrants are when it comes to farming. And now you want to sit on a podium saying something needs to be done and that we have to use our common sense. Don't get French with us now. We ain't got to do nothing because I did not vote for you. I did not do this. So you need to fix this since they, the MAGA people, voted for you.
So now the farmers are mad. Again. But this time it's different. Because it turns out when you vote for a man who's made a career out of not paying the people who work for him, eventually that trickles down. And by trickles, we mean it hits like a damn freight train hauling soybeans nobody's buying. Across the Midwest, farmers are waking up to a rough reality. The guy they backed in red hats and big rallies might not have had their best interest in mind. Shocking, I know. Trump, who stiffed contractors in New York like it was his kink, brought that same energy to agriculture. Trade war with China? Check. Tariffs on key exports? Double check. Subsidies that dried up faster than your irrigation line in August? Oh, you bet. And let's not forget the labor part, because here's where it really gets poetic. The same folks who cheered on the deportation buses now can't get anyone to pick the lettuce. Why? Because undocumented workers, aka the backbone of American agriculture, got the memo loud and clear. You might get iced, and while we're at it, let's deport you to a country you've never even visited so you can work there. For free. No one showed up. Crops rotted, fields sat empty, and suddenly those lazy Americans who don't want to work became a really big problem. Turns out that lettuce doesn't harvest itself, and Tyler from the Tractor Supply store isn't quitting TikTok to do it either. But sure, let's blame Biden.
All right, MAGA, get out there. Where are you at? You got your jobs back. You got your jobs that were taken from you. Get out there. Get out there and start working. Get to work. America first. Get out there. 100% haven't shown up to work due to immigration raids, Texas farmer says. America's migrant workers are terrified to work, but unable to stay home. So get out there, MAGA. You got these jobs back. You took them back. You voted. You got your guy in there to get rid of all of those migrant workers. So get out there. Get out there and start working. But for real, I want to shout out to the undocumented migrant workers as they were deemed essential in 2020. They stepped up when this nation needed them most. They have my utmost respect. They should see a pathway to citizenship. Period. Period. They were deemed essential workers, risking their lives in one of the most hazardous jobs in the entire U.S. labor market. They have my full respect. Thank you for your service and your contribution to this country.
U.S. farmers are regretting their vote for Donald Trump after their business suffers. Womp womp. Since China implemented their tariffs, farmers are suffering because soybean farmers, especially in the Midwest, are not being able to export as much as they're used to. I wonder why. Yet they voted for him anyway. They voted for him about 2 or 3 times, actually. I don't know how you thought voting for him would help you in your business when creating tariffs will probably hurt you. And he's said he's going to do this multiple times, but you know. Another example of Americans thinking that other parts of the world need them the most. Brazil is the #1 soybean import for China. They don't need the U.S. Brazil is steadily increasing the production year after year after year, while the U.S. has remained stagnant. And y'all thought Donald Trump getting in office will help y'all? You put somebody in office who directly hinders your business. I need these people to take a survey so I can understand why they make the decisions that they do. But again, womp womp. You put somebody in office because of reasons, and now you're paying the price because of those same reasons. You just thought they wouldn't affect you.
You know what really gets me? Trump talking about how we're losing farmers, we don't have enough manpower in the fields. Baby, who do you think was in the fields? Who was farming? Who was harvesting? The people you are sending out. Oh wait, kicking out half our country isn't beneficial?
And now we've entered the hold up, I think we got played stage of the American farmer experience. Suddenly, local farming forums and TikTok are flooded with stories like, we didn't get our subsidy check, our buyers pulled out, ICE took half the crew, and my personal favorite, I voted for Trump and all I got was this destroyed export deal. Let's talk tariffs for a second. When Trump decided to flex on China, he slapped tariffs on steel, soy, and all the stuff that makes agriculture, work. China responded by canceling billions in U.S. agricultural imports. The result? Silos full of product, nowhere to send it, and farmers begging the government to buy it back. And the government, in this case, is the same guy who built golf courses with unpaid Polish labor and now treats the agricultural economy like it's a bankrupt casino. Even the Trump diehards are feeling it. One farmer told Reuters, I still support him, but I didn't think it'd get this bad. Sir, what did you think was going to happen? This is a man who went bankrupt selling steaks. Meanwhile, immigrants are still avoiding farm jobs like the plague, not because they don't want to work, but because they don't want to wake up in Guatemala, despite being from Honduras. And no, that's not hyperbole. There are real reports of mistaken deportations. The system is broken, the labor is gone, and the price of produce is skyrocketing, while farmers stare at wilting cabbage and wonder if the red hat was worth it. So now the folks who voted for law and order want the system to bend the rules to get their workers back. Irony so thick you could bail it. Maybe next time, try voting for someone who's actually opened a farm invoice without filing for bankruptcy.